Peter, did you enjoy yourself during your stay in Paris? Well, I could say so exactly. It was rather boring. The unusual parties and the flirting with our women. Sometimes I just wonder how safe it is with so many people dying from the HIV virus, Brain said. Boring, huh? He deliberately ignored the comment on AIDS. Maybe a little joke can liven things up a bit, don't you think so? Brent, who knew the old man's tricks, smiled and said, it depends on whether you have one for me or not. The other thing is that I could like to know what is meant by the term small. Oh, never mind. The, the magnitude of the job. Could you really like to do a job for me? It is all lined up especially for you. And the man is very good. Sir Winter was no longer acting but genuinely serious. He had learned not to take mercenaries for granted. Although Brint had done so many jobs for him, he knew that there was no permanent blood bond between them. As such as was aware that Brint was a freelance, he could only be hired when he wanted. Besides, he also realized that the man's own financial position must have grown considerably. At this age, he could quit mercenary work anytime. Blin knew just how indispensable he was to the old man, but he pretended to give the proposal very serious thought. He picked a sausage from the plate on the table and bit it into it. Finding its taste palatable, he washed it down the whiskey. He then drew deeply on the cigar and enjoyed his taste. The old man really knew how to spend his millions and live in style, he thought. He surveyed the room and noted the done furniture, original oil paintings, and the carpet could all amount to a fortune. Not that he did not have any money himself, but it was men like Sir Winter who had given him that same fortune. And since then, he had learned that when money spoke, people reacted to its delegates. Even so, those with money could not make the money do for them certain things. Only gifted men could do what they wanted. So they had no choice but to hire such men, pay for the services rendered. Although he respected men like Sir Winter, he did not agree with their ways and means of making money, at least not all their ways. On the other hand, he had no claims over the job he did himself. His profession was soldiering, and in any war, whether ligament or otherwise, men murdered one another. It was not even a question of personal hatred. They simply followed orders handed down to them from men who also got their orders from the politicians. The politicians themselves also don't fought but impoverished the lives of other men under the name of patriotism. Did not even bother to explain to the soldiers why they had to fight. Blint had known this only after risking his own lives and killing many enemies blindly. That was when he had realized that instead of being a pawn in a big game which only enriched others, it was better to do the same work, but this time with a difference helping himself and those who had paid him more. That had been his turning point. Since then, he had not looked back. Fortunately for him, he had the foresight to see that even rich men like Sir Winter, who employed men of his status to carry out their secret wars, were vulnerable. His extraordinary perceptions had even made it possible for him to uncover the true identity of Sir Winter. This was a big step which later led to direct negotiations. It had been it had taken him 2 years of working, getting his assignment through and intermediately before telling the man closely for another 6 months and later finding out where the orders came from. Not soon afterwards, the intermediately was founded liquid with the machine gun bullets. The late Blind claimed responsibility for the murder, but only Blind could explain the land brand connections. He was aware that this could be his last job. So when he wanted to get as much money out of Sawinter as he could, it was not a very bad idea, he told himself. I'm always at your disposal, sir. Unfortunately, I seem to be getting old. My bones are not strong as they used to be. Besides, this business is getting dangerous. What with these mad African leaders receiving sophisticated weapons? Come now, Peter, you can't be serious. At your age, you're still young enough to do your work effortlessly. Look, how many of your friends are still in the business? They are much older than you. If you don't mind, this could be your last assignment. Well, he said as he made a show of resignations. If that is the way you feel, we might as well get down to business and work out the details. However, it was another client. I was not going to do it. Splendid, Sir Winter said, painting his back. Let's feel then. First, the country of Zibazako, the mission to rescue three detained men. Reason they are very important to me, both from the political and the financial standpoint. When, as soon as you get organized, means